Chuck Worley with the 757 House Whisperers Show, coming to you every Wednesday night from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. It's y'all just missed all the exciting technical difficult. There's too many syllables in that, Damon. Too many syllables. So technical difficulties that we were having from our podcast studio tonight. It's but we got through it. We figured it out. The biggest thing I have to remember is the black cloud above me when it comes to technology. So it's an age so thing. Very stressful. So anybody on Facebook Live that may or may not, I can't confirm or deny that some bad words were not said when I was freaking out trying to get on the show. It's very stressful. You know, you got 10,000 plus people listening to you and nothing's working. Like the technology's not working, everything. But anyway, we're having a good time. I may be in a full body sweat trying to get the show going. And nobody, I promise you, nobody wants to see that. So
no, not at all.
No, it's nobody wants to see a chubby guy sweat. So anyway, but I know a guy in the heat and air business that can fix that. Right?
Yeah.
So anyway, this is Chuck Worley. I am the founder and host of the 757 House Whisperers Show. Coming at you live, and I will let y'all know that we are real. We make mistakes, and we are technically foolish when it comes to technology. So I always joke that anybody over 50 in technology, that just doesn't go together. Now, Jack over here at 25, he was born and bred on technology. So yeah, Albin helped us figure that out, didn't he?
Yeah,
so
he did. Albin came to the rescue.
Well, my secret to success is surrounding myself with people a lot smarter than me. Anybody that knows my wife knows that's a very accurate statement. Some people may doubt it because I hang out with you a lot, Mike.
Yeah, well, I tell you, you're the one that is questionable.
It is true.
And I will discuss with them where we met, but I'm not going to on the air.
So, there's rumors that get started. So, hey, this is Chuck Worley again. I am the owner of Worley's Home Services. I do want to tell you guys to call in at 757-627-7979. Call in, ask any questions about any problems with your houses. We're in that kind of not hot, not cold section of it's not quite.
But the cold's coming.
It's not really fall, but I still think we might have a hot week slip in right before.
It's going to be a hot few days
October,
every now and then. There's no doubt.
But yeah, so it's in. So call in 627-7979. Ask any questions about any problems with your house, from the roof to the paint to the windows to the doors to the heating and air, electrical. Any issues. We've got a couple customers that have already texted us this week with some questions. So we have some questions for you guys that we're going to answer online. I do like to remind you, when you're calling in asking questions, you are actually helping other people. So we have been helping people one-on-one for the last 20 plus years, helping people figure out problems in their house. But by helping you over the radio for free, answering your questions, what happens is we're able to help tens of thousands of listeners on the radio that have similar problems or different problems in their house. So our solutions are actually helping more than one person at a time, which is why we started the show, it's a way for us to kind of a public service announcement show, way to give back to our area, to our customers. And I love the DIYers that call in because they will call in. We will tell them all the answers they want to know, because they will go up into their 150-degree attic, sweat their guts out to save money, but they're not going into your attic. So they're going to say, call my boy Chuck. He's the one that helped me do this or helped me figure it out. And you'll get us to do the work, because he don't want to be in your attic as well as his. So,
yeah, there's no doubt.
So while we're waiting on you guys to call in, 627-7979, call in, ask any questions, any problems with your house. Don't lie. We know you got problems in your house. There's not a problem that we cannot figure out. I will tell you this. We've got gift cards for anybody that calls in. Thank you for that message, Mike. Gift cards is going to be to Column 15 Coffee. And it's a new coffee sponsor that we got this year. But while we're waiting on callers to call in, I'm going to let everybody go around the horn and introduce. I am Chuck Worley with Worley's Home Services. I do heating and air, electrical, plumbing, crawl space encapsulations, and spray foam. I will introduce Miss Cindy Rawl with Alpha Pest Solution. She is our pest person. She's the only woman you know with a license to kill. Go ahead, Michael.
I'm Michael Davenport. My partner and I, Barry Taylor, own CVP Windows and Doors. We are a manufacturer that makes vinyl windows, and we do replacement windows, new construction windows. We do all types of windows. We're right here in Newport News, Virginia. We service the Hampton Roads market. We go down in Northeast North Carolina. We go up into the Middle Peninsula, and we go into Richmond as well. And I'm also going to introduce Alvin. He has Alvin Co. And Alvin is the kitchen guy, the bath guy, the new construction guy. If you want to have work done that's done properly and first time around, you talk to Alvin. Alvin just did Chuck's old 70 or 80-year-old farmhouse on 5 acres of land here in Tab. It turned out amazing. He helped design it. He put it together. Well, actually, he took it apart first and found some really old junk they stored in the walls. And then he put it back together.
Corncob pipe.
Amazing
That was the
job.
coolest thing.
The corncob pipe.
That was cool.
Yeah. But I'm going to let Mr. Jack come on here now.
Thank you, Mike. My name is Jack Keller with Legacy Painting. We're a residential and commercial painting company located right here in Yorktown. And we service the Hampton Roads area as well, pretty much from New Kent down to Virginia Beach and down to that Virginia state line. So we do all interior, exterior painting, deck staining, fence staining, and a bunch of sheetrock repairs, drywall, so stress cracks, nail pops, all that good stuff as well.
All right. So I want to remind you to call in 627-7979. Call in and ask any questions about any problems with your house. It looks like we've got a caller from Gloucester already. So while we're answering that call in and get on the line. We've got a couple lines open. That is Mr. Gary in Gloucester. How you doing, Gary?
Hello. How you doing? I had a question. I have a house up in Gloucester, built in the 1800s, so it's a very, very old house. It was built on pillars, brick pillars. So over the years, the house has settled closer to the ground to where it's not on the ground, but it's very close to the ground, so very hard to get under it. I think also over the years, the water table, seems to go up. It's more susceptible to moisture, water staying in the ground underneath the house. So what are some options that people can do about that? I've heard, one is raising the house, which is could be problematic. The other one is people I've heard, they'll have, sumps in, they'll dig out under the house and put a sump pump in to drain the water under the house. And just wondering what your opinion would be on something like that.
Yeah, that we like old houses.
I got a couple of questions for you first, Gary. The
Sure.
Is he like open girder?
No, it's
open
up here.
Okay. All right. Okay.
And they did them in brick back in the old days, like he's talking about, because there was no masonry block, no CMUs.
So 1800s. I mean, that was about when you were born. So you should
I
know
was born
that.
just after the war. Big war. But I got a question for you. What evidence do you have that your house is sinking, or is that an assumption you're making? Or have you actually
cracks,
measured it?
Yeah.
You've seen there's interior cracks. You have piers that are deteriorating, or what have you?
Actually, we've owned the house for almost 50 years. So when I was, small, you could go up under there, but I would say probably not. It has not sunk a lot, but it is just low to the ground. It is lower to the ground.
Yeah. They built them that way then because there was no building code. Building code requires you to have a minimum spacing from the underside of your floor joist down into the dirt. The one thing good for you probably.
What's that number?
That number is a minimum of 24 to 30 inches. I always make mine 30 inches because I like that. My HVAC guy, I like him. I like him to have room.
Chubby. He's a chubby
get
guy.
around under the house. But the one thing too that normally back in those days they used heart pine for floor joists, which are very sturdy and not as affected by rot as your spruce would be. The you it's tough to do it. Raising the house is about the only way that you're going to really make a big difference. The your house is so low, and not knowing your situation, do you have a lot of trees, undergrowth around your house that could be retaining a lot of water in the water table?
No, I do keep that clear. There's no trees or bushes around the house.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, well, that's a plus in the right direction.
So what do you think the inches are underneath your house?
Different places, it's not perfectly even, but I'd say it's probably about 12 inches in different places. Some places where the joists, you're spot on. The front joists of the oldest part of the house are heart pine, and they are very solid. And they just are, and it's mortised, so it's very solid. But the flooring and everything, just moisture is getting up into the house more so than it used to. So it just seems from over the years, more moisture seems to stay up under there, and it's just very hard to maneuver around there. There's places you just simply can't get up under there.
So can you see? Do you have like crawl space vents, or is it kind of open?
It's open.
It's open. It's open because crawl space vents would just trap the moisture, make it even worse.
Yeah, because back in that day when your house was built, there was no such thing as a crawl space vent.
They didn't have that. It was like it's
I
always
can't
been
speak
like
to
that.
Yeah, I've been building houses a long time, over 50 years, and I'm old, but I'm not quite 1800s old. And I would tell you that the only way you're going to correct the moisture issue in your floors, I would imagine, is to have the house raised professionally, and that is not an inexpensive task.
It's really not.
But with having your heart pine in there, that's a good deterrent against rot and termites. Termites hate hard wood. But I would recommend that you look into getting that done. There are a lot of professional house people that can raise them. I do not know. I cannot remember the guy's name. There was a guy in Suffolk that did a lot of them years ago. But I would recommend that to keep the moisture away from your structure, because it's important that it happens.
Yeah. It's thank God no storms, really bad storms have come through, so they should not be really, really, really busy right now.
I can tell you one thing. When we hang up, I spend some time in Gloucester because I have work over there. If you want, you can leave your information with Damien on the show, and I'll be glad to give you a call and ride by there and just take a look and tell you what I think once I've seen it. Won't cost you anything for me to drive by, and it just a picture is worth 1,000 words, and I won't mind looking at it for you.
Yeah, it's
right.
That's a tough.
Yeah, I mean,
1800s. Is that like an old family heirloom, or is it just something y'all bought 50 years ago?
Actually, relatives of my wife's family built it. Yes, it has actually been in our family for 3 centuries. So,
wow, that's amazing. Time. How big is the house?
Yeah, it did not stay in our family the whole time, but it went out and then came back in. But the people who originally built it was in our family. So
awesome. That's awesome. That's a good story. So what's the square footage of the house?
It's about 1,700.
Wow,
that's a big house for back then. Yeah.
Well, it had a salt box.
Your great grandfather must have been a very successful landowner. That's a humongous house.
Yeah, unless you're some kind of government official or something, that is a big house.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I was thinking it was like 750, 800,
800, 900 maybe if you were lucky. When you look at the houses in Williamsburg, there are a few bigger, but not many. And so, I mean, that's a pretty good size structure. And,
that's awesome, man. Congratulations for getting it back in your family. That's awesome.
And there are some things, I have not done it, but I have heard of, because of the age of the house, there are some historical landmark type things that you can get grants for, I understand.
Oh, Yeah. That's a great
So you
point.
might
Yeah.
look at something like that to offset some of your cost. I don't know
I don't
how
know
to
they
do
pay
it.
to raise it, but they might pay for something else, which would free up some money.
Yeah, to raise it.
Yeah, to raise it. So, yeah, it's yeah, that's great. I know.
I know you're going to give your address to Damien, but just out of curiosity, where in Gloucester County are you approximately?
The house is up in the northern part of the county, up past the courthouse.
Okay,
cool.
Well, at least you're not worried about, well, are you? Because there are some title situations up there. You don't have to worry about water near your house, do you? Or do you?
Yeah, no, and all the storms we've had since we're from here, water's never gotten up into the yard. But it's just, but the water table is high. I mean, you know what I mean? Like the standing water doesn't get up in there like storms and stuff. It doesn't make it that far in. It's not. It's well off the water, but it just water retains there longer than it used to in years past. And you get water in there, and it just stays there until it goes out.
Be sure to leave your name and your address and your cell number with Damien. I will get in touch with you and take a visit.
All right, so let's go to the. We got another caller on the line. That's Pat. Hold on for a second. It's we got a few minutes before we go to a hard break. So he's got a question about some. Hang on for a masonry chimney question. Call in 627-7979. Call in, ask any questions. Remember, houses talk to us. Call us with any problems in your house. We're getting ready to go to a hard break. I'm going to introduce ourselves on the way out, and then we're going to take a break and then come back to Pat in Virginia Beach. I am Chuck Worley with Worley's Home Services. Do heating and air, electrical, plumbing, crawl space encapsulations, and spray foam. We got Michael.
Davenport. I'm CVP Windows and Doors. My partner and I, Barry Taylor, own a manufacturing business that makes vinyl windows, and it's a very, very nice quality vinyl window. And all of us naturally have that in our homes. I think that we are manufactured locally. Some people say they are, but they're really not. And we got three. We really are right here locally. Love for you to come by and see our manufacturing facility.
Cool.
When I built the place, I built it so you could see all around the floor. Also like to mention Albin with Albin Co. He is a builder extraordinaire. He does a lot of kitchen remodels. He did one not far from my house in Yorktown not long ago and was finishing up. Bathroom remodels. He'll build your custom home. He'll put an addition on the existing home. And he also offers you design information. He'll help you build it the way it's going to be the best for you, considering your lifestyle.
And my name is Jack with Legacy Painting. We do residential and commercial painting here in Hampton Roads. So we service from New Kent down to Virginia Beach and really down to the Virginia state line.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we still got a little bit.
And then we also have Cindy with Alpha Pest Solutions. She does pest control, termites, crawl space inspections, pretty much everything with bugs and pests and all that good stuff as well. So
yeah, everybody's blood pressure was spiked up a little bit as we came on to the show today. And I'll mention Albin again because Albin came up with a thought that actually got us on the air. And so we're going to make that hard break and go to our break, and we'll see you guys back here in a few.
With the 757 House Whisperers Show. I am the founder and host of the show. We've got a lot. Our lines are lit up tonight. So I think we're going to introduce ourselves real quick again, just to remind everybody that just jumped on the radio. I am Chuck Worley with Worley's Home Services. We got Albin with Albin Code, Remodeling and Homes. We have got Cindy Raw with Alpha Pest Solutions. And then we got Michael
Davenport, and my partner and I, Barry Taylor, own a CVP Windows and Doors right here in Newport News, Virginia. We service the market from Virginia Beach, Pungo into the northern neck down into Elizabeth City area and all the way into Richmond. We cover Williamsburg, every municipality in our area. And the one thing unique about us is our windows are actually locally made. That is not lip service. They are locally made. Welcome you to come with an appointment to our plant because we're really not a retail outlet. We want to move on.
And my name is Jack Keller with Legacy Painting. We do residential, commercial painting, as well as a bunch of drywall, stress cracks, nail pops, deck staining, fence staining as well.
All right, we got Pat from Virginia Beach. Let's thanks for holding on, Pat. He's got she has I'm not sure if it's a she or he. Pat, masonry in the chimney is leaking water. Can you tell us more about that?
Yeah, good evening, team. This is I own a 74. It was built in 74. I'm not sure what style of house it is. 2-story with the shingles going the front and the back down on the front and the back. My chimney was pulling away from the house. I'm on a slab. I had a foundation folks come out. They jacked it up. It's piered up. I've had, to be honest, I've had about 4 different chimney specialists, I guess they said, coming out. I have water leaking on the internal of the firebox. They've water sealed it's a masonry 2-story. They have water sealed the brick. They have put coatings on the shoulders down near the bottom part. They put coating on the crown at the top, replaced the squirrel box with one that actually has a chain that you pull and close.
You're talking about the cap?
Well,
correct.
Call
cap.
It wad.
Right.
Yeah. So you replace the cap, and then what was the other thing? You said the damper?
No, they put coating on the shoulders.
Yeah.
At the bottom, and they put coating on the crown at the top, and water sealed the entire exterior.
Now, let me ask you, do you have a chimney like Chuck was referring to? You have a chimney cap that goes over your terracotta pipe that it actually carries the heat out through the chimney. Is there a cap on that?
Yes, there's a cap which actually has a chain that comes down inside the box that you pull when you close it, and then it's supposed to seal all the way around.
Up top. But I got to tell you something, man. This is a tough one because all the questions that I have been thinking to ask you, you have already preemptively answered with the affirmative that the work had been done. And most of the time, when did you say the house was built in the 70s or the 80s?
74.
I'm at a loss really right now as to what exactly to say. If you could take a couple of pictures of the outside of your home, one of the things that could have occurred, it happened a lot, houses built in that time frame, they had the footing the same thickness with no kind of structural reinforcing, where you had thousands and thousands of pounds concentrated in a load. And what happened is the load of the house was spread out over a longer period of time. You have all that thousands of pounds concentrated in one spot, and that ends up causing that footing to break and turn down. That's what they came in and fixed. I'd imagine when they...
Because he said he was on a slab, right? You said you were on a slab?
You can have that on a slab.
Correct.
But
I mean, now, did they foam it and bring it up? How did they bring up the slab?
Pier pylons with a hydraulic force.
Okay.
Hydraulic.
Okay.
That is, I mean, the foam works great with driveways, but the load is so low.
Yeah.
But when you raised it, there could have already been a crack on the back side of that thing somewhere that's filtering the water in. And so
you think the water's coming from below, not above?
No, I don't think it's coming from below. You said it's showing up inside of your firebox, Pat?
Oh, it's dripping down the firebox.
Yeah.
We put
it is dripping
buckets
down.
inside the firebox, and it's all along the front. I think it's called a seal, the metal bracing at the front of the firebox. Right. I mean, it just drips during heavy rain.
That is there, and does your lintel have rust on it?
No.
Or do you know?
Well, I'm
Okay.
sorry. It's
Well, that's a good. That's
Yeah,
good.
that's good. Yeah.
The
Now, don't they have chimney caps that like you can cover the whole entire cap?
yeah, but I think his problem is it sounds like
wasn't
as a
sealed well?
result of the chimney pulling away and then putting it back, and there's a crevice in there somewhere that the water's getting in behind. Has anybody got up on your roof and double checked your flashing to be sure it's still all in good
I mean,
shape?
is there a cricket? I'm trying to picture what kind of roof you have. Is how old is the roof?
The roof was probably, I had that replaced maybe 9 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So that's not horrible, but I mean, so has it been leaking the whole time since then?
No, it only started leaking probably while we had a remodel. Maybe 4 years ago.
Yeah, I would probably just start at the top. Maybe we can get Justin out there.
Say, we got a guy's name.
Yeah, we got a guy that we can he can look at kind of the roof and maybe do a water test. That's probably going to be the only way to be able to really test. And what a water test is you basically spray water onto where the leak is. And basically you got somebody on the inside of the house and somebody on the outside. The person on the inside, make sure they have a very high pitched voice. We found it. We found the leak. So, that we probably don't want your wife to be that person because she would be freaking, right?
Well, good call.
You probably need to do some kind of water test instead of. It sounds like you've done all the stuff that's like top of mind, like seal the chimney, put a chimney cap on, the basics, right? So we got to do a little bit more forensics, and but it can be done. So we just got to kind of do what's called a water test and really kind of, is it leaking on the right side? Is it leaking on the left side? So like you spray on the right side of the chimney, the left side, so you kind of narrows it down for lack of a better term. But once you figure out, you have the screecher on the inside of the house. Okay. All right. We found it. Right. Yeah. So then we could kind of make adjustments to what needs to be done. But yeah, you have a difficult one, man. I
put a lot of money into this so far, and I'm
sorry to hear that.
Any resolution.
I tell people all the time, a lot of times people tell us problems that end up being symptoms for another problem. And that sounds like what's happened to you. Yeah. So we do have a couple more calls. I've only got about 10 minutes left. So I'm going to jump on those, but we'll definitely be in touch, see if we can get somebody out there. Let's go to, and thank you for calling in, Pat. That is a great question. Second, let's see, Daryl in Newport News.
Good evening.
Hey, Mr. Daryl, how are you doing? It sounds like
good, gentlemen. Thank you for
play with some fire.
It's very interesting. I took the gutters off my house some years ago. They were falling down and falling apart. I have a 2-foot overhang. I measured it. They're 2 feet overhang, front and back of a brick ranch. I go under the house twice a year with the pest control people. It's dry. How much of a risk am I? Can you get away with that? Having gutters.
Yeah, people have done it for years. The biggest thing, you are definitely going down the right path with checking the crawl space out. That's the biggest thing that I run into. I'll tell you a quick story that I had a Navy chief in Norfolk that had, there must have been 15, 16 inches of water under this guy's house. And he's got 13 guys out there giving them prices for sump pumps. And I had just explained to the last caller, sometimes people are telling us what they think the problem is, which actually is a symptom to what the real problem is. And this guy's got 10,000, 20,000, all these sump pump prices for sump pumps under houses and, all this stuff. And I was like, man, have you thought about gutters? He goes, what do you mean? I said,
right.
You're literally, his foundation vents were literally an inch off the ground. Like they were not even an inch off the ground. So every time it rained, the water went right into the foundation vents. So he goes, I've had 13 people out here in the last 2 years, and you were the first person to ever mention the foundation vents being on the floor, ground, because everybody's trying to, sell them sump pumps. And I'm like, I'm not trying to sell you anything. I'm trying to figure out what's the problem with that you're having, not just the symptoms. The symptom was 16 inches of water under the house. The problem was,
oh my God.
gutters. So he replaced his gutters. Now he still had some water issues underneath the house. So about a year and a half later, he calls me up and says, Chuck, go do whatever you want to do to the crawl space. I trust you. And I don't think we ended up putting sump pumps under there, but we did definitely encapsulate it and demoisturize his crawl space. So it is important to inspect the crawl space because that's where the damage comes from. Otherwise, you're just going to have, the only other thing that I think is a negative is you're going to have that, where the water drips right off your roof. You got to have that gutter. Yeah. I mean, it's going to be like something wearing out the dirt. So you're going to have that little.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's not a big deal. We just want to make sure the water's not going back into the house.
And the main thing you got to remember is gutters. Look at anybody that's got gutters. They got little black streaks across the front of their house where the gutters overflow. 9 times out of 10, gutters don't have a lot of function. The main thing, when was the house built?
1958. It's a brick ranch.
Okay.
Cottonwood.
Well,
I use
rain
back
barrels and I run the hose.
Well, he said he took them off.
Yeah, but somebody must have added.
No,
you had gutters in 58?
And my parents built their house in 62, gutters were standard on every house. And I'll tell you why they're standard. In 1951, I think it was, the MPS, minimum property standard, federal government required anybody buying a VA house had to have certain things. One of those things was gutters. And that's why gutters were so predominant. Everybody thinks gutters are a code requirement. Wrong. Really? They're not a code requirement. And if your builder has built properly and draining and knowing where the water is going before he ever gets close to putting a foundation in, you got to know where the water's going. And if you get all that right, you don't have to have gutters because you got proper drainage in the house. Eventually, you either landscape or you have grass that it becomes hardy and in place and doesn't have a problem like Chuck was talking about the water line. So
so you call a gutter guy, he's going to try and sell you some gutters.
Exactly. He'll be glad to do it.
That's why I love this show because we have specialists that kind of can do anything here. Our goal of the show is to educate and not just sell you a roof or sell you a gutter or sell you to educate you. Like, I don't personally think you need gutters based on what you're telling me. Now, you start having signs of moisture under that. You say, Chuck told me I don't need gutters. I'm going to call you a liar.
Right.
You better not tell me.
Right.
Just protect yourself.
I appreciate I use rain barrels in a series.
Oh, yeah. That's great. You recycle the water.
Yeah, I have two that are connected up in the front and 3 in the back. And, they pour into the next. And then I have a hose that goes out in the yard. So if it's a big downpour, I go out and, turn it on and it runs out of the hose. And otherwise, if it's a light rain, I just keep the water.
Yeah, use God's water. Use God's water. Well, look, we got a few more minutes left. Thank you for the call. Great questions. So let's go to Yvonne in Hampton.
Hello, Chuck and the A-Team. I've been listening to some of your old shows, and I am enjoying learning from all of you. But I also have a brick rancher. I had a new roof installed about 2 years ago, and a ridge vent was added. And listening to your shows, I know this is something you've addressed, so I would like to get an appointment for you to come and check out my house so that you can suggest to me what to do about the existing 3 gable vents, the old gutters, and the closed, I believe they're called soffit vents.
Yes, ma'am. Yes. Yeah, we can definitely do that for you. I'd love to help you out. I appreciate the kind. How long did you say you just started listening to us?
Well, I started listening to some of your old shows from last year, and now whenever I can, I listen to you on the YouTube.
Yeah.
And I really enjoy all of you, and I'm looking forward to meeting and hopefully getting some projects done with the rest of your A team.
Well, we appreciate that.
Yeah.
Thank you for the kind words. That is, we definitely got the A team here. So, and it's been fun. I mean, we definitely enjoyed helping people in our backyard in the 757. And it's, we've been serving people our whole lives. Really. So it's cool to be able to help more than one person at a time now. So it's neat. But yeah, I'll definitely give you a call after the show tomorrow probably, and we'll definitely come out. So I know we've got about 5, 6, 7 minutes left. I do want to comment one thing about if you have anybody ever has ridge vent put on, that's the best decision for a roof. The biggest secret with ventilation in your attic space is actually the soffits are typically not cut out. My wife's daughter just bought a house in Norfolk, and she had those round, I don't know if anybody's ever seen
those little like teeny things.
They're like 2 inches in diameter.
They're not big as a tennis ball.
They're less than a tennis ball, right? So we doubled the size of that. I think we put 3-inch or 4-inch vents in, and then doubled the amount of vents, soffit vents that we put in. So the ridge vent is going to leak plenty of heat out of your attic if enough air is going into your attic.
Yeah, there's a code requirement now. It's called high-low venting. And when you get a building permit, you have to do that and a calculation for your crawl space unless it's encapsulated. The high-low venting requires so many square inches of venting space, high and low. And we all know heat rises. If you got a 12-foot ceiling in one of your rooms, all the heat's up there and all the cold's down there unless you got a fan moving it around. Well, that same thing happens in your attic. And Chuck always mentions, my guys go in the attic when it's 140, 150 degrees in there on a 95-degree day outside. And that is not it's truth. It's not something that's we're just wagging about. So
it's
that
hot out there.
Yeah, that heat goes out that ridge vent. Yeah. So that guy did you a good job right there.
Yeah, with the ridge vents. So you don't need the gable vents. If you have the ridge vent and the soffit vents, it's really overkill, and really it's not really doing anything. So we definitely want to come up with a house as a system. Everything works together with the house. It's not this or that.
And you know what? I think a good idea might be if we put together a notebook of information that we can have online where people can go to your website and say, I want to download the house book according to the House Whisperer.
Yes. Mike doesn't think I have enough things to do. So I've got this little, side hustle with about 100 employees. Actually, it just got back. I missed you guys last week. I was in Texas. I had my first paid keynote speaker event talking about my story. Some of you guys know the nightmare of my story with the divorce and then bankruptcy and starting over. And then, everybody that knows me knows all I do is grind. Did the comeback story and paid off all the debt of all the people that I bankrupted on. And people want to hear about that. It gives people hope. That is why I do it. And to give God all the glory of what he has done in my life. It has been an amazing ride. But yes, so in my spare time, Mike, I will put together some book that has everything to do with the nightmare of a house.
6 hours of airplane trip coming up.
I do.
You can pull your little tablet.
Some of you guys know the most wonderful thing that has ever happened to me in my entire life is that I married Julie Bartley in February of this year. She has saved me from being a scorned ex-husband and made me the happiest man in the world. So her requirements of this marriage is that she every quarter is traveling somewhere. Preferably, I hope I'm with her. So, so she is, she loves her vacations. So we're leaving Wednesday next Wednesday. So you guys are on your own next week. Jack, I don't know who's with you next week, but so we're going to Scotland and Ireland. So we're going to have a great trip. And I don't know how many of you guys heard me this weekend, but I got very flattered being asked to give my testimony of faith at the Sunrise Christian Music Festival, which was on 24th Street on Saturday. And at 7 p.m. last night, I got a few minutes to praise the Lord and thank him for all the blessings that he has poured upon me. It has been a heck of a ride. But God has definitely restored me personally and both in business. And it's been and you've seen it all, Michael.
Oh yeah.
You saw the good, the bad, and the ugly.
I've been on the train for a long time.
Well, thanks for believing in me.
Hey, you were always a good guy.
Yeah. Well, thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. So Jack is he's been awful quiet tonight.
I'm learning.
You should be learning. There's a lot of wisdom in Michael's head. He's forgotten more than I'll ever know. So it's that's he was talking about the 1950s codes and 60s codes, and I'm like, okay, that was before my time. So
Chuck was being a state wrestling champ.
Yeah, I was still in high school at that point.
In
But,
the 60s?
Hey, whoa. I was born in the 60s. I was born in 68. So I've got the big 5-7. I will tell you, October 18th, you can go to 757 House Whisperer or chuckworley.com. And we're on Facebook Live now. Go to Facebook. We have this is our 7th annual Worley's Farm Party. We will have 300 to 400 people, oyster roast. If you're a customer, friend, you know us, you're a radio listener, you are invited. Just go to Facebook is the easiest thing and register to come. It's on Worley Farm Trail in Yorktown. And you got to be green and orange though, man. You got to wear the brand. You got to wear the green and orange. But yeah, we got 6 kegs and oysters and Brunswick stew and just really what we have is a lot of great
music.
We have Mark Dunn. Anybody that knows, you hear him bring us on every week. Mark Dunn is going to be rocking it out like he does every year for the last 7 years.
7 years, yeah.
7th annual 7. Oh, and the coolest thing about it is we are raising money for the 5 Loaves Food Pantry, which feeds people every single day. Single moms, you can send them to that food bank the same day and they can get fed. So I think it's a great organization. Anybody that knows Tim Lucan, he is actually a brother and monk, Franciscan monk, I think. And that's too many syllables.
He's a religious person.
He's a religious person. I always joke that he looks like the guy from Friar Tuck on Robin Hood. He dresses in the big thing. But anyway, we raised 1,405 pounds of food last year in 5 hours. This year, we're going to break that record. We're going to hit the 2,000 mark. So you're coming. I'm paying for everything. The food, the beer, the entertainment. I'm paying for everything. All I'm asking you to do is bring canned goods. So don't bring one can either. Don't be a cheap.
Yeah.
Mike, don't be coming with just one can.
Nah,
I want a 12-pack, a 24-pack. Like, bring a case of something so that we can bless the people in our area, which I love supporting local businesses like that.
Very true.
So, all right, we are coming to the end. Let's introduce everybody on the way out. Chuck Worley with Worley's Home Services.
Michael Davenport, CVP, Windows and Doors.
Jack Keller with Legacy Painting.
And we got Albin with Albin Co. Remodeling Homes.
And Cindy Rao, she's the only woman that has what?
License to kill.
Go get them.
Thanks, guys, for joining us this week. That was some great calls.
Thanks.
The preceding program was sponsored and paid for by Worley Home Services, who's entirely responsible for its content.